So, last week I showed you my favorite cars of AMS2. But today, as I said at the end of that video, I hope you watched, my favorite tracks. So I'll be driving you around my 3 favorite tracks in the whole of AMS2. You might have seen 1 or 2 of them already, but I will guess that you might not know if 1 or 2 of them. We'll have to see. But let's get into my first track, which is quite a long one and a very French one. Okay, so my first track is Le Mans, which you saw in last week's video, which I hope you all watched. So, what makes this track so special for me is the whole circuit is what I like. So, this first corner leading into this chicane is always interesting because you want to brake as late as possible, but not too late to spin or have any issues. And this downhill is quite interesting. This corner can be tricky, as you see here, which leads into a critical high-speed corner coming up here. And here you have to get a good exit onto the Mulsanne straight. And obviously I would have wished that the Mulsanne didn't have its chicanes on it, because that would have made the track quite a bit more fun. So that's my only thing I don't really like about this circuit, is how they added in these 2 chicanes. But I wish, or I know Reis and Renato are going to add that version, or hopefully they do, in a patch in the future. So let's see about it. But these chicanes are also quite fun. And also, they are apparently identical, but when driving, they don't feel identical in my opinion. Because you can always brake later for this one, I believe it is, than the other one. Can be due to brake temps, I have no idea, but it always feels like that. And then you also have the slow corner here of the track is also really fun, because you come here high speed, top speed, and they have to just go boom, and you have to just brake as quickly as possible. But also there's a little Easter egg which I love about this circuit, is this little roundabout which you can drive at. That's one thing I really like about this track. And then you get onto another shorter straight, or high speed section I should say, where you have to just keep it planted and just push. And you can listen to that engine roar. And then you also come to another tricky corner where you can easily lock your brakes off for there, and then you want to push on the throttle without going into that gravel. And then also comes this tricky corner where you want to brake as late as possible, but you really can't, which happened there. Now when viewing the Porsche sign, you're getting to the Porsche curves, which are not super tricky, but not super easy, if you know what I mean. So you have to brake for this corner, then try and get the car to turn. Then you have to make it turn here. Then you have to let off the gas here to not invalidate your lap time through there. And then you come into the Ford chicanes, I believe they're called, where you brake and go quickly over them here. They have to brake, slow it down, and then go like that. So that was a lap around this circuit and why I really like this circuit. So now let's fly, and let's, well, fly obviously in this car, but let's take you to over the channel to a country which also has quite a few tracks, but there has one which I've talked about a few weeks ago. Welcome to Silverstone. Now this is the newest layout, or the most modern one, but all of the layouts I quite like, because I just generally like this circuit. Used to be an RAF base for the British. I'm not going to say anything about the war, but I just like how these corners are built. This new section here, I quite like driving, but basically all of the parts of the track which were older, like this section, are quite fun. And this corner is super tricky to nail in and get a really good speed, get good speed and the exit, in my opinion. They have this famous corner. You should touch the apex, not avoiding. No, do not avoid it when going side by side with the car. And they get into Maggots and Beckett, where you really have to push the car. And then you come into the back straight, I think it is. And when enabling DRS in the Formula Ultimate Gen 1 and Gen 2, do not go over the curb. Don't know how it is in this game, in this base game, but for V1.6, if they haven't changed anything, be wary of it. That's my little snippet. But now let's talk about these fast corners. You have this flat one where you just push to get go as quick as possible. Then you come into here where you want to brake without locking your brakes up, which is quite easy. You get to here where you want to touch the apex, but you also need a very good exit, which I sort of got there, but not the best. And here you really want to trail brake to go as quick as possible. Then through here you will also want to brake, but also want to get a good exit like that, even though I lost quite a lot of speed because I didn't I took it more tightly than I normally like to. And obviously here I've talked about pushing as hard as possible. Then you just go as quickly as possible down here, down the hangar straight, or the back straight, or what it is. You want to brake roughly there, want to go through there, go on the throttle as much as possible, then brake hard into the corner. Then I also like to shift early through there to try and gain a bit of speed, and there I lost quite a bit of speed due to low grip. Yet this course loves to make your front left burn up, which happened here. But now let's take you to my third and final track, which I love to drive, which is, or will be, no, currently is my test track. But then in the future, I will have 3 test tracks, but this is the main one. Okay? So now we are driving in one of the Formula Classic cars with my favorite engine in it, the V12. We are driving around Suzuka, or I mean Kansai, which is the official AMS2 name for it. And why I love this so much is because it is quite tricky because of these corners, because you're trying to push, but they're just so awkward, just on the touch of awkward, that you can't really, sometimes if you make just a little mistake, it hangs with you for the whole segment. So that's what I like. And then that section, the SS, is really nice. They get to this high speed where you have to try and push as hard as you can. Like you saw through there, went quite well. That corner can be quite tricky. I don't like these cars a lot because of what can happen through there. Hopefully, I think that gets fixed in V1.6 or at least greatly reduced. I think there have been discussions with it in certain cars, but don't take my word for it. It should be improved and hopefully eliminated. And then we get to 130R. And you have that double corner I was talking about before. They come into these chicanes. Or that chicane, which is quite fun to drive at. They get onto the main straight. Or the back straight, or what you want to say. And you're off to drive again. See here, you can really push. Go quickly. You could see there my first lap wasn't the best around here. But what you want to do is just push the car. Go as quickly as possible. Because I maybe braked a bit too early through there. But you can see I gained a lot of time. And if you're getting that sliding effect, which I got previously through there, means you're probably going a bit too fast. It seems like I lost a bit of time through there. Hopefully I gain it through... I don't know what it's called. But I like to call it a spoon. Because it... When you look at it, it looks a bit like a spoon. See, I lost quite a bit of time through there. Yeah, I went a bit slower, and then you get into this. Or it's just me going into first gear, which is the issue. That's also something. In certain cars, going into first gear can be quite an issue. So, it seems like I've probably done all the talking and explaining about these tracks and why I like them so much. So, let me just take you to my camera view and explain shortly, summarize. Okay, so the first track was Le Mans, which I like because of its high-speed corners, bit tricky with a few slower speed, and I love the straight. They have Silverstone, which is a bit the same actually. I have a tricky slow speed corners, tricky high-speed corners where you have to push, and then you have one straight or so. Kansai, basically everything is a bit tricky and you're on the limit a lot, but that's a test track for you. So what do you think? Comment it down below. Once you're down there, please hit the like button and also subscribe. My next video, we'll have to see what it's on. Maybe we'll be on V1.6, maybe we'll be on the dev update. We'll have to see, because I can't read Renato's mind. And hopefully, when these videos come out, they don't come out and then, oh, Renato releases it like the day before or day after I've recorded this. So let's see how it all works out. But until then, I've been Racing Legend. You've been my amazing viewers. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.